How's it going, guys and gals, and welcome to another AA meeting, and please repeat after me. I am an addict. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at one of my gateways into the anime world, My Hero Academia Chapter 268. Really quickly, the way these meetings work is we go through this week's chapter satirically for the first half, and then the second half I'll analyze 3 particular scenes I found interesting about the chapter. If the rundown is not what you're into, feel free to skip to this time here, and don't forget to comment your theories or predictions in the comments below. Last week we left off, Hawks was turning into a rotisserie chicken, Tokiyami was about to show Dabi the business, and Bunny Queen was giving no fucks, being a complete savage and giving the World War II doctor a heart attack. So what do we have in stores this week? The chapter starts off with our favorite trio of characters, EraserHead, Present Mic, and Endeavor. Let's take a moment of silence to praise Endeavor for his badass anime moment he had a week ago. Oh, and there's this hero named Crust that he's not that important. So, the Nomus have extreme regenerative powers like they always do, but only one guy can fix that, and his name is the #1 hero. Quickly, we cut back to Paraplegic Bay, and she goes to break Shigaraki's container. Her bunny senses are telling her to run away, but she ain't no Haru. She goes in and destroys the container when it was only at 74%. Well, barely, as one of the Nomus who hooked her in the last week's chapter pulls her back. But again, the #1 hero Endeavor isn't playing games as he catches her. Paraplegic Bay says something I don't think most heroes will ever say in there, and the chapter ends with Shigaraki's container bursting and Present Mic and EraserHead about to have a badass moment. So that concludes chapter 268. I enjoyed it, not as much as I enjoyed last week's chapter, but this one was still good, and I'm glad to see where the manga is going to continue. So for my first analytical point, I'd like to discuss the dark nature the manga seems to be moving towards too. I've always been a fan of risk and reward, and Hirikoshi has shown over these last couple chapters that characters will die, sacrifice body parts, all for the name of victory. We've seen characters in the universe have battle damage, i.e. Deku's arm, but not to this extent. I think the further along the manga goes, and the stronger these Nomus and the rest of the villains get, the more risk and reward our favorite cast members are going to take apart in order to stop the grand evil. Shigaraki, as we know, is going to get through this point, but how powerful has he become at 75%? We've seen him create the Earth at around 0%, so we're into a treat to see what he's going to be able to do in the future, and let's hope that our non-favorite heroes don't obtain too much battle damage for this arc. Second thing, I'd like to make some predictions for next week's chapter. Last week, we were teased with Tokiyami saving Hawks, and I was a bit disappointed not to see some action between him and Dabi this week. On the bright side, I think the fight will commence next week, as in this chapter the cast members have to get through the Nomus ahead before they can stop Shigaraki from waking up. The fight obviously will be tense, knowing Hirikoshi style. Dabi clearly has the upper hand, having a fire quirk providing a light, which ultimately is Tokiyami's weakness, but even though Hawks is toast, I don't think he's out of the fight, as a guidance towards Tokiyami and his fight towards Dabi. Also, prepare yourselves for some Tokiyami flashbacks, and hopefully we can get the answer we've all been waiting for. What came first, the quirk or the bird head? Finally, I see you, Hirikoshi, trolling us fans. As you know, Hirikoshi has to play it safe, because God forbid he puts something a bit controversial in his manga, and every network shuts him down. Last thing the manga needs at this point is some new warriors in the manga. But the trolling I'm talking about is when Bunny Bay breaks the container at 74%. Deku, for the longest time, can only use 5% of his power. 74 minus 5, 69. Nice. You might call it cherry picking, and what I say to you, sir and madam, is, yeah, probably you're right. I just thought it was interesting. Alright, and that concludes this week's AA meeting. Please feel free to let me know in the comments what you thought of this week's chapter. If you liked the content, and feel free to like and subscribe. Please turn on the notification bell so you don't miss your next AA meeting. Also, into podcasts, check out the Core of the Shio podcast, in which me and the Bearded Saiyan discuss all things anime. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. This is Ascension Anime, signing off.